Hello and welcome guys to my channel. I'm Maria and I'm talking about art, philosophy, spirituality, things that inspire me, things that are going on in my life, and yeah, I just want to share some thoughts and revelations I have on my way. So today's video is going to be, first of all, I have new hair. I think I feel very much myself. I feel like I'm becoming the artist that I am. That's a whole other video, because today we're going to talk about consuming with your heart. This is a video that has been on my mind for over a month. I've been pushing this video to the front for a month, like over a month. I was in Paris in the month of May, and that's where the idea came from. But I didn't have my camera with me, and I tried to film it with my phone, but my phone was dying and didn't have any storage, and I didn't have any. There was no way of filming it in Paris, and then I was so overwhelmed with life and everything else, and now a month later I'm like, I will sit down and make this video so I can keep on with different videos, because this video wants to be put out, so I'm gonna put it out. I did a little video which I think I will either, we'll see how this will go right now. Either I will include it in this video, then you know how it is, or I will upload it right after this one, because I have this video where I filmed what I consumed in Paris, and what I consumed was basically art and nature. And I have this theory and this thesis that as an artist, those two things are the only things you should consume. You should consume art and nature. And those things are there to fill your heart. And they fill your heart and soul and make you full, like you as a human being. You don't need much in life, actually, except of course food and friendships and love and all of that. But if all those basic needs are met, like the higher needs we need, I think, is beauty. And beauty is found in art and nature. And it's on you to define what you find beautiful and what your type of art is and what your type of nature is. But in general, I think art and nature are what we should live off. As artists, especially as artists. And I think it is very clear when you are starting to consume a lot of art that most of the art is inspired by nature. And not even inspired. I think inspired is even though inspiration is a great state of being and state of mind. But I don't think artists themselves are only inspired by nature, and that's why they want to paint a landscape or something like that. I think people and artists are trying to conquer nature with art. And I think that it's their way of being equal to nature. That's why art and nature stands on opposite ends. Nature is nature-made. Nature is made by the universe, God, whoever created this world. by itself. We can say whatever it is. But this is where nature comes from, and we're in awe with it. Imagine you're climbing up a mountain and have this great view of the landscapes down to you, or you're at this beautiful beach and there's this beautiful sunrise or sunset, and this color, like the world has changed into pastel colors, or you see the moon reflecting on the river and you see a gorgeous yellow big moon, like stuff like that. We are mesmerized by it, and those things just happen. They just happen. And those things are things that fill ourselves. Like when you see beautiful art, when you see a beautiful waterfall, when you see beautiful landscapes, beautiful flowers. Flowers are the evidence of beauty in nature, and how much beauty is part of like the existence of life and of this world. Nature is one thing we have almost no control over, okay? Almost no control. Weather can come, nature catastrophes can come. Nature sometimes can also be extremely dangerous and awful and crazy and scary and disgusting. Like, think of muddy, bloody, fleshy things. Think of, like, I don't know, a dead animal body and stuff like that. Or like disease, like some diseases we don't have even control over. It's just a nature thing. Sometimes diseases happen. But we are part of nature, okay? We are nature. We are part of it. So it is actually funny as a human being to be very disconnected to nature, because it means we're very disconnected from ourselves. I think as an artist and as a human being, you have to have a ritual where you connect yourself with nature. You have to be surrounded by nature. You have to live with nature. I think it can be different for everyone. It's on you to find out how it is. It's on you to find out, is it like a walk in the park, in the forest? Is it meditating on some grass? Is it going to the beach? Is it going to the mountains, on the riverside? Is it just, I don't know, having lots of plants, having a garden for yourself? Is it buying flowers, arranging flowers? Is it being with animals? It's on you to find out how, but I think you have to do that to fill your soul up. But nevertheless, like how important it is for our health and our mental health, it is also important for us as an artist to connect yourself with nature, because I think as an artist, your job as an artist, that's like on definition, but in my perception of being an artist means you observe the world and you have your own unique way of seeing the world, of looking at the world, and you are trying with whatever mediums you have, whatever tools you have, you are trying to show the world how you see the world through your eyes. I think this is the job of an artist. It is how you see the world, how you feel, how you think of the world. That's why being an artist, it actually costs a lot of solitude, because you have to figure it out. You have to really figure it out. You have to observe the way, like the world in a very unique way, and try to express it, try to bring it out. Writing, painting, making films, making music, whatever it is, we all know there are hundreds of ways of expressing. But this is the key job of an artist, okay? So, as an artist, you have to fill yourself up with stuff. You have to have stuff to look at. And if it's not nature, it's art. It's different humans' art, because we as human beings are trying to conquer nature. The source of the creation, which nature is, nature just creates itself over and over. There's a cycle. There's like leaves are falling, flowers are blooming, they're dying, they're coming back, animals come, animals go, people come, people go. But we have this weird way of seeing the world and not knowing what our part is. When like we want to do stuff, we're like, okay, we see the world is in a cycle, but we as human beings, because of our human condition, of our human minds, we cannot just accept this. We just can't. It's the nature. It's the nature of our nature. Is we can't accept just being passively like a flower. We can't just be here and be like, no, we have this weird consciousness that we're thinking of stuff. We're aware of that we think, and we're aware of ourselves. So we have to do something with ourselves, and to be part of this human condition, we want to do stuff. We want to make stuff. And one way is by creating art and making yourself the creator of things, like nature does. And nature didn't do that because it thought, oh, well, let me do this and let me do that. I just am a flower, and now I am blooming, and now I am dying. Whereas human beings don't have this ability, we need to think of it. So we think of this in an art way. We as human beings and as artists have to consume the right amount of nature and art to fill ourselves up and to create again. And I think there's a beautiful example for me for Monet. When I was in Paris, I took a little day trip with my best friend. We went to Giverny and we went to his house, which was surrounded by hundreds of beautiful flowers. And yes, this man was rich. Yes, he became a very successful painter during his time of life, which a lot of people always think they are rich when they die. Like the paintings get like sold for a lot when they die. But Monet was very successful when he was painting, when he was still alive. So he had the resources to literally had the biggest garden ever. He had like multiple gardeners taking care of the garden. Hundreds of different flowers, all color coordinated. He literally made a little canal where the water was like floating to the little ponds where those water roses, the water lilies, bloom. And he literally had all the resources to create it. So he was investing in this. And he was connected with his own train tracks to Paris, because Giverny is like 1 hour away from Paris, and he was still an established painter during his life, even when he was old. So he had to be in Paris, and he had his social events, and he had his gatherings, he had people like buying his art, so he had to be in Paris, and he also obviously consumed other artists' art. So what he did was exactly this mix of consuming other people's art. Like he had his peer groups, he had his people around him. But then when he came home, he didn't just came home and then, okay, let's watch TV, let's just read a book. No, he created his home and his environment exactly to his needs, and he painted them. He was surrounded by art, by his own art, by his peer group's art, and by nature, and he was constantly seeking out nature. He did this plein air paintings, right? He was one of the earliest painters who painted not in the studio, but outside. He literally went into nature to paint it and to be inspired by it, and he really seeked that out. And I think his work of art, it may not be for everyone, it may be boring for people, but I think he's a very famous example, right? Like his paintings are worth millions of dollars, but he also really made his way of living an art form. And I think as an artist, you have to do that. Like you have to fill yourself up with the right amount of things. So besides consuming nature, to consume art may seem a little harder for some people, especially if you're very much used to entertainment, easy content, fast-paced things, like your attention span may be really low or something like that. It may be hard for you to consume higher art or real art forms, to like go out to watch an exhibition. Maybe it's like not interesting, or maybe you don't even know what to look for. Maybe you don't even know how to consume it, how to consume art, how to consume films, like films that are proper films and not just a movie that explains itself. And I thought, like, that's how I actually came up with this video, was that I watched Mirror by Tarkovsky. So basically my thesis, next to consume art and nature, is consume not only for your heart, but with your heart. So imagine this. Imagine this. You are in nature. Imagine the most beautiful landscape. You have a wide view of, I don't know, the Grand Canyon, and you look above it and you just are mesmerized and you're in awe with it. And you just stand there, breathe through it, you just observe it, you're very in the present moment. You look at the little hills, like I don't know the English words, but like you look down and you see the colors, you see the sand, you see everything, you just observe it and you're like very present. And then you feel what's going on inside you. You're like happy, maybe you cry, maybe you're just scream through the canyon and like there's some echo coming back or something like that, or you're someone who's, I don't know, you want to touch the floor, or maybe you want to go walking down, you want to experience it, whatever it is, it's up to you. You have the whole decision, whatever you want to do. And basically that's how you should consume art. And that's how you should consume a film like from Tarkovsky, which is considered a very high form of art. It is considered a very intellectual, high form of art. Not everyone will understand it. What's it about? I don't know. There are many layers. But Tarkovsky himself said at some point that children are more able to consume his art, his films, than grown-ups are, because they intellectualize everything. They try to think about it and they try to make sense of everything. Stop making sense. Just to quote Talking Heads here, but stop making sense. It doesn't always have to make sense. It doesn't. Same with David Lynch films. Art shouldn't be intellectualized that much. Yes, you can do that. You can think about the meaning of things, which is very personal usually, or because interpretation analysis of a film or art piece usually is based on theories, and it's based on things you've read and experienced before, and then you can make a whole analysis of it. But no one expects a normal human being who has no background of anything to make a whole analysis of a fucking art piece. That's not your job. It's a job, and making analysis of art pieces, it's a job. It's called critique. It's the film and art critiques do that, music critiques. It's their job, okay? If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But it's not your job to do that. When you consume something, your job is not to analyze it, your job is to feel it. Your job is to be with it. Just watch it, just observe it, and go ahead and make your own thoughts of it. That's what you would do if you see the Grand Canyon. You would feel it, you would just watch it, maybe take a photo, maybe you make art, maybe you want to paint it, maybe you want to write about it. Like, make art of that art that you consumed. Because that's what you will immediately start something if you consume right. That's also one of my theories. If you consume correctly, with your heart open, with no expectations, just with the pure awe, you will immediately start creating, because that's what inspiration does. If you consume the right amount, like if you fuel your soul and your heart with the right amount of things, not only right amount, with the right things, they will hit the spots, they will hit you in your face, you will cry, you will laugh, you want to make it dance, you want to bring it out. Like, this is like, you can't stop, but you will create. You will, I will promise that you will start creating immediately, because that's the natural thing. Like, you have to express what went through you. And this is what, as an artist, you want. And if you constantly consume the right things as nature and art, you will always have something to create. I swear to God. If you consume the right amount of things and the right things, I always want to say right amount. It's not only the quantity, it's also the quality. I think we sometimes close ourselves off of good art because we think we're not capable, we cannot watch it through. Sometimes we're overwhelmed with things like meaning, like with with making sense of things. But in the end, it's on you to make a meaning out of it. It's not the job of the artist to really explain its art. So don't be hard on yourself, and also if art doesn't touch you, it's fine. If you're not touched by art, it's really, really fine. You have to find your art. That is actually the best part, and this is now my last part, is when you start consuming art and nature more and more, you are getting to know yourself for real. And you're getting to know what things you like, what things make your heart jump, what things really, really touch your heart, and what things really, really inspire you. Be open, be curious, like a child, just be like very, very curious and ask questions and go and explore the world. That's basically it, explore the world. And you will find things that you like that evoke similar feelings. Make a list out of it. I keep track of what inspires me all the time. When I am inspired by artists, by art pieces, by films, by books, by poems, by whatever, I write it down, and in summary I notice a pattern. And then the fun part begins, because then you're trying to figure out what it is that really inspired you, what really touched you in your heart and your soul. When you consume the right amount of things, now right on is correct, you are able to write down like maybe qualities, like write down the qualities of those things, just like adjectives, right? Write it down, like what it is, like do it, I don't know, do it for music, do it for music, fashion, film, as Charlie XX would say now. Do it also with art, do it also with architecture, maybe do it with interior design pieces, objects, do it with flowers, with nature things. Write it down what it is you like, maybe in colors. Try to figure out how they make you feel. And at some point, when you find similarities, you notice that that's the art that wants to come through you, and that that's the art you are going to create as well, because that is who you are, that is your essence, and that is why we should do that. That is why an artist has to do it. It's a non-negotiable. As an artist, it is your duty to do that, because otherwise, what are you filling your soul with? If you call yourself an artist and you're not touching grass, you're not consuming nature, and if you're not consuming other people's art, what are you doing? Like for real, what are you doing? How are you able to create? I'm like literally trying to think of it, what you could consume. Like imagine you are a cook and you want to make the finest food. Of course you're eating fucking McDonald's once in a while. Of course you're allowed to watch easy entertainment, that's not what I'm talking about. But as a fine dine cook, you have to explore other people's food. So you have to go out and seek inspiration. There is this little thing which makes us drawn to convenience and comfort and laziness. But whenever I go for a walk, afterwards I always feel delighted. I always feel blissed out. Maybe it was a little exhausting, yeah, maybe my feet hurt, but it's amazing to be out in the forest. It's amazing to be out in nature. And I think we have to overcome this convenience of our usual things. We have to expand the horizon, consume fucking art and nature, and then create. Okay guys, I think that is my video. The sun's going down right now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this topic. If you agree, if you're not agreeing, if you are also an artist, let me know what inspires you, what other artists inspire you, what it is that makes you create. I just want to know, I want to hear about other artists. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram or anywhere else, just check out my description box. And yeah, I'm gonna be releasing my short film very soon. I'm gonna be updating you very soon on it. It's almost done, and yeah, can't wait to share more art with you and art creation processes. Also, I just noticed, if you want a list or a video on what I consume, I don't know, what books I consume, what art I consume, what films I consume, I can do that. I have also Letterboxd. You can also check it out. You will see a lot of my influences there, and you can also like be inspired by it. I would love to have a discourse on the films I watch. I can do a whole episode video on that, but only if you're interested, because I don't know if people are interested in it. Okay guys, I think I'm gonna end it now, and yeah, let me know. Bye!